Hi there guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and like if you like this video. But yeah, anyways, let's get straight into the video. So it's been like approximately like 6 months since I made my last video, and most of my videos were mainly vlog based. I think the last 3 were like mainly vlog based. But yeah, I was looking back on my videos and I realized how good my fashion journalism portfolio video was doing, and it seems like lots of people are interested in it and people do end up asking me questions, and I just felt like, let me just give you guys an update on me being in 2nd year, so I can give you guys an update on the 1st year and the 2nd year. So I haven't completed my 2nd year, I have a quarter of it left, so one last term, and yeah, I just felt like, you know, make you guys see how it actually is like, what type of things you have to do, and just in general, because I feel like every single place when they do these courses, so different unis, when they do these type of courses, they change it up a bit. It might not be exactly like how I'm telling you, so I just wanted to give you guys like a overall type of input on what I've been up to, how I feel, and what I usually do in this bachelor's degree. Obviously I'm taking a fashion journalism bachelor's degree, and it's a 3-year course, and I wanted to give you guys an overview of the 1st year first. So I do have notes, so I'm reading off my book, literally whacking the camera with this, don't do that. But yeah, so I'm going to be reading off of this book because I've written down notes, so it just reminds me of like, what I have to talk about. I think there's 3 terms in total, and you also have cultural historical essay that you would have to do in one of the terms while you're alongside with the fashion journalism things that you have to give in. So I don't know if every single course has cultural historical context, but I know nearly all of the courses in University of the Arts London or London College of Fashion where I go, they have to, like, nearly every student has to do cultural historical lessons, because I guess it is important to whatever we're doing. I mean, arts, it's, you know, you can make history with it, and there is history on it, and I guess art has culture behind it, so which is why we kind of partake in it. So you have 3 terms. The first term that you come in, it's mostly like you're learning new things, elements of how to write when you're a journalist. So you're going to be writing articles on like a newspaper article, a featured article, a runway article, writing for websites, because obviously, as you know, like, journalism isn't just on a platform of like writing on a paper or newspapers, you know, it's turned into a digital platform too, so they're kind of inputting that in as well. Alongside that, you'll be doing T-line. So T-line is basically a writing technique that you can adapt to when you're a journalist. So as if you're taking an interview of someone, you can't really write out all the words really quick, so T-line will help you kind of transform words and sentences into a much like quicker format. I'll give you an example alongside here because it's so hard to describe, but yeah, so alongside, you know, being able to have a writing technique, we were also learning this. Obviously nowadays you don't really use this, but I guess it'd be really helpful to mention in your CV that you do know T-line, like a bit of T-line or whatever it is, because it is such a like unique thing to learn nowadays, as not every single uni actually gives you that type of opportunity. But yeah, T-line was the most hardest shit I've ever been through, so I don't know, like, I don't know how to feel about T-line. I literally did not go for half the lessons. It was hard. It's got like its big like advantage to it, but obviously compulsory it shouldn't have to be, and I wish I didn't do it, because I feel like I could have focused more on my actual like writing skills and assignments that were given to me from like the other classes. That's what we were mainly focusing on, and we had to go straight into it. We were writing up articles, like our first assignment unit, we had to write a newspaper article, a featured article. I feel like there was a runway article. I feel like that might be in the second term. But we also have broadcast. So as a journalist, you might think it's mainly writing, but you do have the broadcasting aspect, because as a journalist you might be the type to like kind of like broadcast news instead of writing news. So yeah, they do broadcasting too. I'm not really confident in broadcasting. I'm mainly confident in writing, because I hate being on camera or like just asking people questions. But when broadcasting, it was mainly like choosing a topic, so I kind of got to do it in a group. Many you do end up doing in a group, but sometimes you can choose being by yourself. But we were put into a group in our first term, and we got to choose a topic and basically ask people questions, and we had to film it. And we were taught all the broadcasting skills, like wide shot angle, or full frame angle, or close-up angle, like all these kind of stuff. Like I don't remember all of them. We were taught about lighting, microphones, so yeah, it was a lot to take in. But that's literally, broadcasting is really like a big part of your assignment too. So yeah, so you're doing all these kind of stuff and you're juggling already in the first term, so it gets kind of overwhelming and you feel like, how can you do this? So I was doing English literature as an A-level before, and obviously I didn't know any journalist like skills or experience, like how to write. So when I did this, it was definitely really new, and they make you like go straight into it. So yeah, it does freak you out, but this is all just a test, and the more you do it, the more you kind of get it. So yeah, when it does come in, like giving in your work, you're giving it on something called Moodle, which is online. You're giving in your assignments. It's set on a specific day and you have to give it during that time, and you can't pass it, and all these kind of jazz. So obviously basic, you know, boring, do in dates. So second term was more of like doing I think it definitely was runway like articles and doing featured articles for a website, because they wanted you to grab a hold of that type of skills, because you might be working in a department or in a job where you're in a department where you have to publish things online instead, and being able to write featured articles is like really important. Obviously it's not the basics of like writing a newspaper articles, where newspaper articles are mainly based on fact. Featured articles, yeah, you can kind of put your opinions in, you know, you can kind of make it fun, so you do end up enjoying when you're writing that. Our newspaper articles, we obviously had to find a real life, like something that was actually happening at that moment. So they gave us maybe like a 2 months range or 1 month range, and in that 1 month we kind of had to find news by ourselves. So like going outside of uni and figuring out if there was a new shop being made, why was it being made, or why was it shutting down, or something that might have happened around in your area. And so that's really like, you have to go out there and you have to search yourself, and obviously it has to be real news. You can't just make it up, and it can't be a news that was written like that you're writing for like 2 years ago. So they do want it to be like present in the moment, you know, getting into it. Runway article was really different. It was like I don't know if you've seen like on Vogue, where they do the runway articles on Vogue, so it's kind of like that. So it was also being like really descriptive, creative, imaginative. How are you going to describe a dress that was on a runway? So with the runway articles, we were kind of like choosing a catwalk that might have happened in like spring summer season, or autumn winter, like runways that were happening, like fashion weeks especially. So yeah, we could like kind of go to fashion weeks and see. Like I didn't really take that as an option. I didn't go to any fashion weeks. I mean, you kind of have to give money and being able to afford it, but also I was missing lessons and all that kind of jazz, which I'll explain later on. But yeah, you get the opportunity from the uni to go to Fashion Week and kind of get news from there and watch catwalks and, you know, interview people, like if you have the chance. So you have to choose like a specific type of brand that was in the catwalk. So maybe you do Chanel or something and you liked their catwalk. I remember, I feel like that was what I read about was on Chanel. I'm not sure, not 100% sure. If I can find the article that I wrote about, I'll put it on the side over here. But sometimes they do really creative catwalks and you have a lot to write about. But yeah, that was definitely something different, because that's not something I've ever done, or actually I've never seen except until now. For featured article, we kind of did it for a website, pardon me, and I think it was Cosmopolitan or something else we could choose for, but we had to, when giving in our work, we had to choose what website we were writing for, because you have to kind of write in their technique. Obviously when you're finding a job, you're going to have to go with the flow of how they do things or how their wordings are. Like, you can't just use your own techniques. So I think I did it on Cosmopolitan, and you just have to read a bunch of articles, kind of like figure out how do they write things. Is it like up to 300 words or up to 500 words or up to 1,000 words? What do they talk about? How are you gonna like kind of write it? I forgot to mention, like, when you give in your work, you also have a portfolio that you have to give in. So the research that you did behind it, what websites you went on, what people did you interview, did you do questionnaires, did you do secondary research, all that kind of stuff, primary research. You have to put that all in, and the more you put in, the more better it is for you, because you get a better grade. The less that you have, you won't get that much good grades. So obviously with broadcasting, it's going out and asking people questions. It just has to be random citizens that are like walking. I think once I went to Oxford Circus, and that's where I did my whole like setup, and I think that was for the second term, and I asked questions on fake fur, real fur, and obviously you have to video them. You have kind of like a timestamp of how long the video has to be, so sometimes they're only like 1 minute 30 long. So yeah, you do have to go out and spend like a whole day videoing people, because you want the like best outcome. But obviously if you end up having like really bad anxiety, or like, you know, you get nervous when talking to people, like, it's obviously not the best thing, like it's not going to help that, but you kind of just have to go out there and just do this and force yourself. And for the last term, for first year, we did a team project. So we had to basically choose a place. We chose Hackney, and we had to kind of make a magazine for that place. So obviously, like, you have the Ilford Recorder. You know how you get newspapers or like websites or magazines that is targeted toward a specific place, for a certain type of audience. That's what it was all about. So as a team, we were put into groups, and we chose Hackney, and we had to go out and find news. And it wasn't just news that you would probably put in a magazine, it was news also that you put on a website, and also doing broadcasting. And our broadcasting, I think everyone had to do a broadcasting video, and we had to put it up on our website. And yeah, so basically we got to build as a team and kind of come out with what we're going to put in a magazine, or how is our website going to look like. So I think I mainly worked on the website, because I did have experience on creating websites, and I just felt like that was a really easy option. But it wasn't like everyone can just back off and, you know, people will still get good grades. Like, we were being marked on our individual work too. So everyone had to come up with a certain amount of articles, news articles, feature news, broadcasting, and then obviously the rest would be like, how are you taking part in the project. So yeah, that last term was really like kind of hard, but also like we came through with it and it was fine. Okay, so on to second year. second year. So this is where everything is more in depth, and you're kind of doing the same thing as your first year, but in your second year you have 4 terms instead of 3 as you did in your last year. I'm just going to give you kind of like a brief like summary of everything that I did in the second year, because I'm currently in second year and I haven't done my 4th term yet. So obviously maybe I can give you guys a future update on the 4th term for the second year and like the last year. But yeah, so I've done 3 terms so far. So the first term for the second year is you're basically doing your normal thing that you did in your first year. So you're writing down a feature article, newspaper article, you're doing broadcast, and also they add in the element of writing for a specific magazine, and this specific magazine was for Sunday Times Style. So apparently out of the 30 people that are there, their article will get picked for Sunday Times Style and will be sent off, and whoever gets it will be able to put it on Sunday Times Style. But yeah, so for Sunday Times Style we had to do a research piece. So it was any type of research that you have kind of done. So I did it on how there is a lack of South Asian models in the fashion industry and the lack of representation of South Asian people in the fashion industry. And then I did a whole research article for that, and I think it was around 1,500, 2,000, I'm not sure. Also, you will start to realise that it starts to become second nature doing these type of articles, because you're so used to it. I mean, you've been doing it for the past year, you've been doing it for 3 terms, that you kind of get like how everything should be written. So yeah, you kind of get happy about that. You're like, yep, I'm getting this is getting cool. That was really the first term. It was the first term for second year was a lot to take in, because you're doing at least like 4 different writing pieces and then also doing a broadcast on top. The broadcast that we had to do was basically related to your research piece, I think it was. Yeah, the broadcast that we had to do was related to your research piece, kind of take on that topic, and I did it on South Asian teenagers and how they feel about the lack of representation of South Asian people in the industry. So yeah, that was my broadcast piece. It was really easy, really simple. Just that a person speaking, you can ask them questions beforehand on what they want to talk about, what topic they want to talk about, but that's it really. It was a lot to take in, but really simple, easy, what you've been doing. So second term came around, and this was about I think it was about situating your practice. I'm not sure the title of the assignment, but it's basically you're gonna go into work placement. So this was a time to learn about how your attitude is or should be in a work placement, but also alongside that you're basically put into groups from other courses will be in your big group. So it's not just fashion journalism. I was the only person that was doing fashion journalism in my group, and the rest were like creative direction or PR. We spoke about technology, the future, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure the main topic on it, but the topic that my group chose fatigue, how technology, social media is taking part in fatigue and anxiety in many young or older people, and how it's like affecting us. In our groups we kind of had to come up with like a project of, it can be like a presentation, a proposal that was based on a social media influencer is that how you say it? I feel like I'm saying it all wrong. Okay, influencer, this is so weird. Yeah, so we chose a body positive and all accepting social media influencer for our project / proposal. We didn't have enough time to carry out with the project, so we just went with the proposal of having our social media influencer for Instagram. As you may know, on Instagram lots of people show you a side that is really unrealistic. They're only showing you the good side of their life. What about influencer that is more accepting of the side of having anxiety, having depression, having bad days, and talking to the audience about these kind of stuff, because obviously not every day can be a happy day. And when people see this online on a social media or on a platform that is so big, it can really influence them, meaning that, yeah, why is this person happy all the time? How comes they're getting this great car, this great job, this great life, and I'm not? And I guess that leads to fatigue and anxiety. So having an influencer that was real, that was just like anyone, that would promote brands that were mainly like cruelty free or being hyper conscious, we wanted to create an influencer like that to help with fatigue and anxiety. So at the end we ended up presenting it, and then we also had to do a quiz. The quiz was for how you would react in a workplace. So like, you're not going to steal in a workplace, you know, or you're not going to behave badly in a workplace, you're not going to swear, you're not going to like, you know, just be laid back in a workplace. And this was just a quiz that was going to help you with the work placement that you were going to do for the third term. Third term rolled along. I was not a big part of it. Work placement, you have to find work placement in your second year, and you can try and find it before, to be honest, but this was like, I think we only had like a month, but with the Easter holidays added in, it was 2 months. You had to find a work placement in whatever industry you want to go into, or even different industries. The uni helps you out. You have an online UAL app that you can go on and sign in and try and look for work placement, and you should have started this way before, but I didn't. And you can just start applying, and you have to like give in applications and stuff like that and let the uni know where you're doing your work placement. For term 3, I don't have that much of a experience in, because I didn't find work placement, but all is well, because if you didn't find a work placement, then you were doing a project with the uni and other people that didn't find work placement too. In this project, you're basically kind of taking on roles and responsibilities that you would have took on in your work placement, and we had to do a project together of something that would represent our generation. So sometimes you can find these really big like books, like I don't know what it's called, but it's like a portfolio maybe, and it represents the generation or the current generation and what was so popular. So like we mentioned how it's more about empowerment, women empowerment, LGBTQ, like being accepting, what type of fashion is in place, how we're really fluid with our identity, and how we are critical of things that the fashion industry do, where you have a whole big platform online where if a fashion industry or a brand does something wrong, we will easily jump on, criticize them, and they will have to shut down whatever they're doing. So you know, that was kind of like what represents our generation. Yeah, that was something that you kind of did in the third term. So I don't know, I couldn't really give you guys this side of the work experience side, the work placement side. So I really wanted to add this in. As I had mentioned, there's a lot of things that people go through, really like with mental health. You go into uni, it's a different atmosphere, it's a different environment. You end up feeling worse about yourself, or you end up feeling really good. You end up finding friends, you don't end up finding friends. And I've been the unlucky one. So I did suffer from anxiety during like A-level time, beginning of GCSE time, even like depression, and I didn't get myself diagnosed. I went into first year of uni, had a really rough time. The lecturer, she recommended me to go to a counsellor that the uni do for free. Any uni does for free, and you guys should find the counsellor in your uni and just get things sorted out if you do have bad, like, you know, mental health or just mental health in general. and I did end up going. So then she kind of like diagnosed me with depression, anxiety. I don't know if a counsellor can diagnose you, but she did say I have that, and she told me if I should go on the medicine or not. I just didn't choose to. Controversial stuff, you know. But I was going through a really rough time in my first year and didn't, like, even now I'm in my second year and I don't know if this has been the right option, the right pathway for me to go. So I've been on this up and down scale of liking this course and not liking this course, but that does not mean that you will not like this course. And I really just wanted to give you guys this disclaimer, because everyone's experience in uni is really different, and I'm giving you this whole video and I'm looking really happy and I'm like, yeah, this is the best course. Like, I feel like it is one of the best courses that I could do. Like, if I just did journalism, I know I would have been bored. Fashion journalism, it's so broad. It's not broad, I mean, it's so selective, it's so just out there, because the fashion industry has become so popular and you will enjoy every moment. But when you have a serious mental illness, or just like in general you're going through shit, it becomes harder. So yeah, when I talked about me not going into work experience, it was because of that. I mean, when you think that you might not be good enough to go into work experience or have a work placement, then you kind of pull yourself away from that kind of stuff. And yeah, just a really hard time. And especially if you guys end up, or you do have any, please seek help. Like, it's the best thing that you can do for yourself. Even if you need to drop out, just drop out. I think it's so hard to go into uni, maybe moving out, going away from your parents. You know, you might have been popular in college days and then you go into uni and you're not, like, those kind of stuff. So it's just like, it's a lot of stuff happening. I mean, it may seem easy, it may seem hard, you know, it's how everyone takes it, how everyone's experience goes. And so yeah, I feel like I haven't given you guys the full experience of doing fashion journalism, because my depression and anxiety did get in the way of it. So there are probably wonderful videos out there that would actually explain going to UAL and doing fashion journalism. But my one, I can give you guys like the rounded aspect of it, like what we did, just not too much in detail, because obviously, like, I didn't go to Fashion Week. I wish I did. I want to go soon, hopefully, and kind of just get away from this type of shithole in my head. But yeah, so this was like a little disclaimer that I just wanted to give you guys of yeah, I'm talking about this, and not everything is sunshine and rainbows, and not like, it gets tough, you know. As you grow older, you're just like, what do I do with my life? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It did take me a while to post this. I was just like, I think it's taken me 1 week, and this is like the second week of like videoing, and like now I'm going to start editing. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Please, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and you know, hopefully you guys will see more of me. See you later, guys. Bye.